Hollister and would like a demonstrator or a creativity coach, I am your gal. Just give me a holler at adastrastamping.stampinup.net. That is also where you can shop with me if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today, I am going to be talking about making some Christmas cards with this lovely Beauty of Friendship set. It is a photopolymer stamp set. It is on page 11 of the annual catalog. So let's go ahead, turn the camera down, and get started on today's cards. So the card I want to show you today, I'll just give you a quick example, is going to be this card here. I'll get that up there where you can see. I've got a layer of evening evergreen down here, topped with a white cardstock. That's our basic white. I have just added some stamping and some coloring to that. And this stamp set does not have any Christmas sentiments, but you could use anything you already have. The ones I have chosen to use today and have used on the cards that you're going to see examples of come from this current bundle, this current stamp set called Merriest Moments. It also is a photopolymer stamp set, and it is current in 2021. It does come as a bundle, and it is an awesome one. You will see me do some cards with those in an upcoming series. So I'm going to set that aside for now. I'm going to go ahead and get started on making today's card. So I have already taken a full sheet of thick basic white cardstock. I have cut it down the middle the long way so that we've got a 4 1/4 by 11 inch piece. I am going to now score that at 5 1/2. Make sure you're using your light gray scoring tool on that. And we're going to go ahead and fold our card now. Get that scored and folded. Okay, so I've got these cut. If you do have the rectangle die cuts, what you will want to use is the second and third largest dies for these. So the white is out of the third largest. This is Mary Merlot, and I cut it out of the second largest die. So just so you've got an idea, if you're cutting panels, this panel is roughly, the white panel is roughly 4 1/4 by 3. So 3 by 4 1/4. And then your colored layer, whatever color you choose to use, is going to be approximately 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. So 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. And those will layer just perfectly on our card base like so. All right, so now let's get to stamping. So we've got this fabulous set here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull this one and this one. So these are the two evergreen looking shapes. And I'm going to go ahead and get those on blocks. Okay, scratch that. Okay, so I am going to be stamping with Evening Evergreen, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp this bottom layer up, and I'm going to place it relatively close to the bottom of this panel because I want to leave room at the top for my sentiment, but we won't go all the way to the bottom because we want to add a little bit of blue to make it look like a snowy other die, or excuse me. I am going to go ahead and use this other stamp. I've gone ahead and inked it so that you can see it a little more clearly. This is going to be the top layer because these are two-step stamps. So they are designed to be layered one over the other. Now I am inking this up in the same shade of green, the Evening Evergreen. And the beauty of using these photopolymer stamps is that you can get your image situated just the way you want it over the top of the original image Make a nice firm impression. You don't have to press hard. I like to let it set for a second and soak that ink up. And look at that. Beautiful, beautiful evergreen tree. That is going to become our Christmas tree. I'm just going to set those stamps out of the way and close up my... Okay, so I have got some pool party ink. I have got my stamped tree, and I have got some scrap paper. And the way I did my snowy background was to just tear a piece of scrap paper just randomly, and we are going to lay that over our image. Now, kind of decide how high you want your snow to be around your tree. You don't want to take it too high, but you want to leave room to add some layers. So I am using my blending brush. These are fabulous, by the way. You want to start a little off. Let me get some paper under here so that we don't mess up our work surface. So I am just going to lightly blend some of this pool party ink down here. It's almost looking very green. I'm going to just move and lower my paper a little bit, and I'm going to add another layer of ink. So it's going to make just some soft little differences, like there's drifting snow. You can do that a few times. Okay, so we've got our little snow drifts. Now I'm going to add a little more of this to just kind of soften so that it's not quite so stark. So we're just going to lightly, with the ink that I've still got in there, I'm just going to lightly kind of come up and around the tree. As we're losing ink out of our blending brush, it's getting lighter, but it just kind of provides a soft sky look, like a wintry sky, and it just gets lighter. Now, on my other cards, I have added a little more color up here at the top. I am really liking the way this one looks right now. So I don't think I'm going to add any more color at the top on here, but I don't think I'm going to add it on this one. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and put my greeting up top. Now I used the word joy from this stamp set, from the Merriest Moments stamp set. This time I'm going with Season's Greetings. Now this is a brand new one. I have not even used this stamp yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clean it off on my chamois real quick so that any packaging oils or anything like that, I want to go with something different on this one. So I think on this one we are going to just go ahead and use our Memento Black and stamp Season's Greetings. Now, every time I get a new stamp, I do like to stamp it off once or twice. The more you use these, the better they will stamp. So I just like to kind of prep it by inking and stamping off on scratch paper a few times, just to get it good and seasoned. All right, let's go ahead and now the other beautiful part about photopolymer stamps is you can see the ink on the stamp very, very easily. I'm just going to kind of use my grid paper. I'm going to line that up and try to stamp as straight as I can. Again, I like to just give it a firm press and let it sit for a moment to make sure that ink has an opportunity to soak in. All right, so there we've got Season's Greetings. Now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to layer that on here. But we've got a decision to make before we start gluing anything down. I've got several versions of this card. This one I have done with just a piece of ribbon wrapped around everything. Okay. This one I have glued down the bottom layer to the card base, and then I have wrapped ribbon around and popped up this one on top. And on both of these cards, you will be able to see the ribbon on the inside, which I liked. So I love showing that off. I did the same with this one. The bottom panel is glued to the card base. Then the ribbon is wrapped around, and this is popped up on top. Personally, that style is my favorite. If you like seeing more ribbon, this one is the one for you. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to center up my panel here and get it glued to my card base. Now again, this is Mary Merlot, and it was die cut for this panel, but you could definitely just cut this to whatever size of rectangle you prefer to use on your card if you don't have any dies to cut them with. That's the beautiful thing about card making. You can make it however you want. There isn't a real right or wrong. It gives you all of the area of creativity that you want. Now, next choice is ribbon. So I've used several different ribbons. You've got an idea of what the possibilities are. So my decision now is which ribbon do I want to use? Do I want to use gold ribbon? Do I want to use white ribbon? So in laying that on there, you can totally see the gold being beautiful. Let's see what we think of this glittery white organdy ribbon. Both are lovely. I think I'm going to go with the organdy ribbon. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open this up and sandwich that in between. And I want to leave myself plenty of, I would say I've got about 16 inches of ribbon, just over 16 inches of ribbon. And that may vary depending on if you want to tie it in a bow, and also what thickness of ribbon, because I know it was a little more difficult to tie the wider ruffled. So just fuss with it a little bit till you get it the way you want it. We're going to call that good. All right, so now that we've got that part done and decided on, we're going to go ahead, finish decorating this and get it popped up on some dimensionals. So the decision now becomes what How do we want to decorate our tree? Or do we rhinestones? Okay, now we're going to add some holiday rhinestones. These are available in the catalog on page 142. And I think we're just going to add some of these red ones and see how it looks before we go too far. I like this red better than the basic red rhinestones because I've chosen that Mary Merlot, and it just coordinates a little better with the Mary Merlot, or if you had a cherry cobbler. Question is, do I want multiple colors? I think I do. So I'm going to add some of the green ones as well. And I think we'll go ahead and add some blue as well. And I think we'll add gold. I'm going to add a large gold at the top, like a star. Over your tree. I'm going to move that one down there. And if you've noticed, I've kind of triangulated my colors. So I've got red, 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 green, 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 gold, gold. So we've got our rhinestones on there. Our tree is decorated. We're going to add some Stampin' Dimensionals to the back now. Now I am doing 4 corners, and I'm going to go ahead and pop one in the middle for a little extra stability. Not manage to do that. Okay, now here's where you have to be careful to get this centered up and not get your actual bow in there. So we've got a ribbon running underneath. The bow is outside, and there we have our beautiful card. So let's just recap what we've got here and the different variations and versions. So here it is with a green background. Now on this one, what I have done is taken some the Crystal Effects glue. So let me show you what that looks like. So this is what Stampin' Up! Offers, shimmery crystal effects. And I just kind of dabbed it on there, random pattern, kind of like garland would be. And then I took after I added the shimmery crystal effects glue, I just sprinkled it with some glitter. Okay, so what I used was Stampin' Up's Dazzling Diamonds glitter. I believe that is now retired and has been for a while. But if you've got some laying around or have some other glitter or even a different color of glitter, it would work fabulously. Here is another one done with a shaded spruce as the background. This one's Evening Evergreen. This one's shaded spruce. This is Stampin' Up! Ribbon that has retired. This is Stampin' Up! Ribbon also that is retired. I liked it because I had the gold running through it. I chose a gold background panel and used some of this with the glitter and also some of the gold metallic pearls. So there is a variety of different ways to make a Christmas card out of the Beauty of Friendships bundle. So I hope that you have enjoyed this version of the Beauty of Friendship bundle. cards that I'm making. I would love a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Comments would be fabulous. If you've enjoyed this video,